For the people who listen to us, my name is Duge. I'm a French and Thai beatboxer for 16 years and the co-founder of Lyrebird Beatbox School, the first online school where you can learn and progress with the best. And today is a very special day, as I said, because I will have the great pleasure to interview my dear friend and world-class beatboxer that I know for 13 years now, the one and only Colaps. So first of all, how do you feel, Colaps?
Hello, what's up, everyone? I feel really good. Really happy to be here for this interview. Thank you for doing this with me. It's always a pleasure to have a time with you.
Thank you very much for your time and for accepting to be here. So I will remind you just the concept. So the concept of this show is really to retrace the history of the best beatboxers from each country to better understand their history, their influences and their style. So through this series, we wish to share the point of view and the experience of different people who seem important to us and who contribute to the democratization of our beloved discipline that is beatbox. So each show features an artist beatboxer sharing her history and current vision of human beatbox. And the show is divided into two parts. So first is the open questions that I prepared. And the second part is for the chat, where they can ask all your questions. So to the people in the chat, we invite you to ask your questions during the whole emission, but the whole show, and we will answer to them during the second part. At the end of the show, I will ask you to recommend 1 to 3 people who have inspired you and who you would like to listen to this in this show. Do you have any remarks or questions before we start?
Me or the chat?
You. Sorry.
No, it's clear. I'm ready to move forward.
Very nice. So this is the beginning of the interview. Very nice. So Colaps, your name is Julien Calewert. Well, you're Franco-Colombian, originally from Paris. You practice beatbox for 16 years, and your stage name is Colaps. You're the GBB champion in solo category in 2021. Tag team champion with River in 2023 with the tag team name of Rock Wave. Champion of La Cup 2028, double French champion in solo and team as well. You are one of the content creators specialized in beatbox, the most followed on YouTube with more than 570,000 subscribers. Where you share your musical project, your innovative concept, where you can learn beatbox and divertise yourself. But to understand your journey, my first question is the following: what makes you started to do beatbox?
Well, how I start to do beatbox? First time I saw beatbox was in the TV program. Oh, c'était la Nouvelle Star. Nouvelle Star?
Yeah.
Nouvelle Star with Pulpo. That's the very first time I listened to beatboxing, and I think I was, maybe 8-9 years old, maximum 10, maximum. At the time I was already finding it fascinating, and it's like discovering something that humans can do, but no one really know about it until that moment where I was like, wow. Okay, so we can do with our mouth. So I just tried for fun, but for maybe 30 minutes, and then I was tired. And then a few years later at school, the year was 2009. 2009. I was at school, and during the school break in between classes, I hear someone doing some sounds, and I feel like I've heard this before. So I turn my head, and I see a guy by himself beatboxing alone, like he was alone and just beatboxing. So and I was really intrigued. And usually I never go see people straight like this, but because I heard this before and I was really intrigued, I yeah, I went to see him, and we had a small conversation, and I asked, what are you doing? I think I've heard this before, and he told me, yeah, this is named Beatbox. Would you like to try with me? So yeah, at first I was like, I just wanted to know what you're doing, but yeah, why not? Why not? So we started to jam together, and yeah, that's basically the very first steps of how I discovered beatboxing. So that's cool.
Very
Nice.
nice. And did you start music with beatbox, or have you already tried other instrument before?
So I come from a musician family. So when I was in a smaller school, comment on dit?
Yes.
Like, ouais, mais like I was younger, and at the school when I was at a younger age, they introduced us to music also, like singing.
Or before the primary school, right?
Yes, choirs. So I was in like child choirs, but I was very small.
Okay.
And also, my family comes from music. My grandpa was a jazz drummer. My dad also used to play drums. My uncle. So all of them, they're really into the music, and a lot of my family just loves to listen to music daily. So I was since a very young age listening to music and understanding rhythm, etc. So even when I was really young, I always had the good sense of rhythm. But I never really tried any kind of instrument before. I just had a good feeling with music in general.
Very nice. All right. Okay. So you said like so did those instruments, so those discovery of instruments influence you in your beatbox? For example, from your family, did you feel that they influenced your beatbox?
Oh yes, yes, definitely. Well, because a lot of my family members play the drums, so I was very influenced on the rhythmical aspect. And this is why today also my beatbox is really focused on rhythm. I love to create rhythms, maybe more than creating melodies. Just find it fascinating to create intricate things rhythm wise. And so yes, definitely. My grandpa, I played some drums with him before beatboxing. I mean, around the same time. Um, and yeah, definitely it influenced. I learned drumming for 2-3 years. I got into a bit of music theory as well. I was training almost every day at my grandpa's studio. So definitely it has influenced my beatboxes.
Very nice. Very nice. Could you name us to us 1 to 3 videos that influenced you in your beatbox? And do you have the name of those videos?
Like beatbox videos or
Anything linked to music, I would say. So first, you say
one of the first videos I saw. It's not about beatbox. It's more like a drum solo, and I was a huge fan of Tony Royster.
yeah.
And there is a video. He's a child. I think he's like 8 years old, and he makes like a 10-minute drum solo. And I was just fascinated by that video. I watched it so many times because at the time I was also learning the drums. I was a bit older than his age, and I was finding it crazy that he can already do those really complicated rhythms like if an adult was playing. And that was my goal. I wanted to reach that level as fast as possible. So definitely that's the one of the first videos that really catch me in terms of music in general. And I think still today it's a really nice video to watch. Just to see a little kid playing drums like crazy, and it's yeah, it's amazing.
You still watch it today?
Yes, yes, yes. Sometimes.
Very nice. And if you had like some people you met or events that influence you, could you cite or quote to us like 1 to 3 people that learned that influence you a lot with your beatboxing, and or events that influence you?
Well, the first event I watched was live stream. It was the World Championships 2012.
Okay.
So it was my first real interaction with a live event, kind of, because I was not here, but I was watching live stream, and people with the chat. I was in the. It feels like being part of the community already, because it's quite niche live stream. Not everyone can find it, etc. But I don't remember how I found about it. I think I was very lucky that night because I just typed Beatbox on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then the live stream of the World Championships appeared. But I didn't know it was that day, actually. I just happened to search on YouTube Beatbox, and I click, and it was the World Championships, and was like, no, it's not today. And it was just pure coincidence. So I was fascinated. I had school the next day, and I stayed up almost the whole night. Went to bed like 4 or 5 in the morning, and but I was so excited from listening, because it was my first real understanding of what's like to be at the top level. Because I didn't watch that many things before, and so it was my first real shocking experience. And then
sorry.
And other videos that I really liked a lot at the time were Chinese Beatbox Championship 2011. I think the judges, there was Babeli, Bilo. I don't know the third one, but there is one beatboxer in particular that I really enjoyed listening to. His name is 313. It's a number 313. He's a Chinese beatboxer, and I really enjoyed his style. And I think nowadays, still what he does is really unique. I think it sounds a bit more old school now, but still a lot of things in there are really interesting, I believe.
Very nice. So 313.
313.
That's a very good reference. I remember him. Very nice. So nice. I can't remember the question I had in my head. I just want that because you were saying something very interesting about 313 and before someone else.
Below Babeli judging, and before that I was talking about the World Championships live.
Oh yeah, right. At this time, so you didn't know any beatboxer in real life, right?
In real life, no. Apart from my friend, which he was a beatboxer, but not in the community as well. It was just we were doing it at school between us, so not really.
Okay, very nice. And so when did you start to participate with events in real life?
First event in real life was Battle de la Reine Blanche 2012. And I met the very first French beatboxer I met was Wawad, and I didn't recognize him at the time. I arrive in the room and I see someone with not much hair at the time already. And I just say hi to him, and he was just really nice to me. And so I just have a conversation, and after a few minutes I realized, oh, this is Wawad. Okay. And so then I put more respect, because I was like, oh my God, okay, he's a beatboxer, because I didn't know he was a beatboxer. So I was acting normal, but if I knew he was Wawad and he was a beatboxer, I would be like, oh my God, But because I didn't know it was him, it felt more relaxed and comfortable. So that was funny. But yeah, my first event was 2012. La Reine Blanche. So I met Wawad, Alexinho, Kim, Big Ben. Who else? Ninos. Many beatboxers.
Very good French beatboxer.
FIB also, I think.
Nice. Very nice. And at this time, what were I would say the main genres in beatbox, and did they influence you in your art?
Main genres at this time, I would say it's dubstep.
Yeah.
So a lot of bassy beatboxers like Kim, Big Ben were very trendy at the time, I think.
Yeah.
Like even Sleazer, I remember a lot of people trying to do dubstep, and it was also the time where it transitioned slowly to trap music a bit more as well.
Yeah.
2013-14 was the year where trap music was getting more and more popular. So I remember there was kind of a switch following what's the trend in the music industry. So FIB came also, and yeah, all these people.
What about you? Did you get influenced by those genres?
Yes. Well, I always tried to follow the trend at the time. So yeah, definitely. I remember with Kim, he took me under his wing, and I remember he was one of my big inspirations at the time. So I was always asking him stuff. I went a lot to see Tim Panam in concert as well. After that event in La Reine Blanche,
Yeah.
I connected more with the French community and mainly the guys living in Paris, like Kim, Skuya, who else? Polo, Firebras. Firebras was a bit later, but Svent, Andro, yeah, all these beatboxers. So yeah, definitely was influenced by all of them, and specifically also by the music trends on the moment.
Very nice. And what type of how to say knowledge did they share? Where is it? Where was it? Sorry, techniques, sounds, or more like flows? I don't know.
If I remember correctly, it was like I was asking Kim a lot of tips about how to do bass, like throat bass mainly. I was trying to unlock it.
All right.
And also a lot of tips about split snare, because I think it was at this time also that it got like more beatboxer were able to do it. I think Kim learned it around this time, if I'm correct. And I remember, yeah, he was just showing me his new beats, and I would be asking, "Oh, how do you do? How do you do this technique? How do you do that sound?" So it was mainly, yeah, throat bass, split snare, and I remember I couldn't do any of these sounds, so I was always trying to find my own versions of this.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Because what was or what is your process of learning new sounds? For example, you said you go to beatboxers to learn or to see their approach, but is it your regular approach, or do you have another way to learn?
At the time, yeah, just list. Well, first, when you never met beatboxers and then you met them in real life, you understand just a lot of things just from hanging out with them, because they beatbox next to you and you're able to see the mouth clearly. Like, it's not on a screen, it's not 2D, it's three-dimensional. You can really see what's happening, position wise. So just this difference really helped me to understand a lot of things when it came to beatboxing, because I realized I was doing a lot of sounds the wrong way, kind of, and that I could always do some optimization of what I was doing at the moment. So when I was able to see them doing these sounds live, then I understand. Okay, I need to place my tongue like this, my lip like that. Maybe blow some air, more pressure. Like, I was able to understand more parameters that are just a bit harder to understand when you watch some videos. And on top of it, at the time, it was mostly with a mic like this.
Yeah.
So I was watching a lot Beatbox Battle TV. I think that's the name. At the time, it was named Camcast, if I'm correct. With
I didn't know. I didn't know.
they changed name. And c'était quoi la question?
Je sais même plus non plus.
Voilà, bref.
Voilà, ça veut dire que t'as tout dit. You said everything, so that's fair. That's all. All right. Because I want to go on a more theoretical question. So, regarding to you, what beatbox brings to you?
Money?
Good.
well, money is definitely something that's in it as well. But I didn't start for money, or I even didn't think it was gonna be my job one day. But from what it bring to me at the time, definitely a lot of happiness in the way that I always needed a passion in my life. It, whether it was when it was not beatbox, before that it was drumming, for example. And before drumming, I was skating. Uh, so I always needed kind of a passion in my life that kept me entertained, and that kept me having having fun basically. Um, so it brought me a lot of joy. I also felt through beatboxing, I learned about myself, because it's like learning how to control your own body, like you would move your arms. Well, for me it's the same, but inside the body, which are sensations that you are unlocking. So when you unlock new sensation, it's like, wow, okay, I have unlocked. I don't know how to say, but it's like a tree in gamification. You have developed a new skill, new ability. So I was a bit seeing it like this, discovering my body, discovering myself.
Very nice. That makes me think about a new question. You said you always wanted a passion in your life. Is it like this that you found the motivation to always progress and never stop to progress?
Yes. Definitely. When I have the motivation, when I have a passion in my life, I think in the first place I do it for just because it brings me joy and a lot of self satisfaction, and in that way it forces me. I mean, I'm not forced, but I just feel like I can't I can't just stay where I'm at. I always need to to progress, go a bit further than the day before. This just gives me a lot of motivation, and the more I think about this in my mind every day, the more I want to go far, and that's how I reach new steps, new goals.
Very nice. And at what time did you know, sorry, that you wanted to be a professional beatboxer?
After I won the championships 2017, that's where I told myself, okay, there might be something possible. Because before that I didn't win anything, and I was always doing it for fun, not really thinking about. I of course wanted to win, but it never really considered the possibility that it was gonna be my job one day. So yeah, after I won this, and the next year when I started winning all the battles, like 70 Smoke, GBB, and like up, this really comforted me in the idea that I was on the right path, and so yeah, I stopped my job, which was a software developer, and decided to focus on beatboxing around 2020. Yeah.
Very nice. And if you had one tip to give to beatboxers who listen to us to differentiate themselves from other beatboxers, what would it be?
Differentiate. Wow.
Where did you start? Well, for you, like to you, when did you start to get this recognition? So different, this differentiation from other beatboxers. Maybe this question.
Yeah. I think at the beginning I was copying a lot of beatboxers just to try to learn combos, techniques, and sounds. Also try to understand the way to structure something music wise. Because what I did at the time was half freestyle, half prepared, half, it was a mix of everything a little bit. So I went, I was just trying to figure out a way to make what I do comprehensive and coherent for uh, for everyone basically, and for myself also. um, and I just tried to, when there was a trend, I just tried to find my own version of the trend. So if, like, I remember one moment was the reverse trend when FIB
Yeah.
was going. He won like up and introducing new types of reverse, new types of sounds like this, and I was really enjoying that. So I decided to develop my own version of this specific technique, and it's always like this. When there is a trend, I always try to follow, but at the same time find my own way of doing it. I don't want to do the exact same anymore because of course at the start I did that, but then I got a little bit bored of this
All right.
because I felt more satisfaction in creating and in just trying to really think what I can do on my own, really to show what comes from my own mind.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Very nice. I hope that can inspire some beatboxers
Mhm.
for the future. Very
Mhm.
nice. How would you qualify your beatbox style?
Beatbox style, I would say. I think I can do a lot of different things now. I have a lot of possibilities. I'm definitely less strong on the vocal aspect, specifically on the bass side. So my strength remains still on my anything that's percussive and rhythmical. That's my top strength, I would say.
Yeah.
And later, because that's where I started with. That's the core of my first beatbox style is only with percussions and rhythm.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm the strongest in that area. And then I developed more my voice, finding my own way of using the voice, and that I also enjoyed. So now I definitely have a lot of possibility, even bass wise, and I'm still learning because the style always evolves. Before it was rhythmical, then I decided to mix rhythmic and voice. So it was complex, but I was putting still more voice into my beatbox. And now I'm trying to make my beatbox a bit more simple for everyone. Because I'm just trying to reach different types of audiences now.
Yeah.
Not only the beatbox scene, but also a wider spectrum of people.
Mm.
So I want always to create something that's interesting for beatboxers, but at the same time something that's interesting for people who don't know about beatboxing anything. So that's why I think now I'm just aiming for a versatile style that combines elements for beatboxers, elements that interest more people. This is why I'm also putting accent a little bit more on my voice lately, trying to upgrade that area that I always pushed a little back because I felt that I had other strengths and I could develop them. So I just choose an order to develop my strength that makes it that right now I'm still developing my voice. But yeah, versatile.
Very nice. It's a complete and complete description of your style. I like it. That brings me to the next question. If you would be an instrument, what will it be?
Drum.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not an NPC.
No, drum. I would say drum.
Why?
Because that's where I come from, even from my family point of view. That's where I always grew up around drums. So yeah, I would love to reincarnate in as a drum, if possible.
Very nice. If you would describe a typical day from you, what will it be?
Typical day for me, like today, for example.
Beatboxer day in your normal life.
Beatboxer day.
Yeah.
So wake up at 7.
Yeah. Drink.
To be honest, I always for me that's part of the beatbox process, but I work out a lot.
Yeah.
So every day I try to do a little bit of workout because when you work out, it always improves the lung capacity and the stamina, and I do it for the health also. But also I'm thinking about when I will be on stage and performing, I have to have a good form, maintain a good form for being able to execute what I want and move on stage normally and etc. So workout, and then I would start practicing beatbox around 10. I feel like I have more energy in the morning than in the
All right.
afternoon. So I would. It depends. If I'm preparing for a battle, I would beatbox 6 hours a day, maybe more. But if I'm talking about my routine right now, I would say it ranges between 1 or 2 hours a day of beatboxing. Because I'm not preparing for any type of battle, just trying to create new songs and also rehearse my past songs so that I can perform them on stage, for example. But yeah, mainly beatboxing in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm doing all the work I do for my online presence, such as Instagram, YouTube, live streams, yeah, this kind of stuff.
Very nice. So you talked about sport. Do you
Mhm.
consider beatbox as a sport? And if yes, do you see like similarities between sports and beatbox?
Beatbox is definitely, it's half workout, half a sport, half art for me. It's in the middle between these two, because we're using our body to in really crazy ways, which means we're developing the muscles that as an athlete would do, basically. I got analyzed by scientists, CNRS in France, and they put the camera in my nose and they just said, "Yeah, this is really. It looks like a Olympic athlete, but from the throat, basically, you know." So
Nice.
they put a camera in my throat and they were saying, "Wow, a lot of muscles compared to normal people."
Yeah.
So definitely a sport, also because we have to be careful with our breathing management when we beatbox. So sometimes we can be exhausted from beatboxing, and also we can have pain in our muscles. So in that way, of course, it's like a sport, specifically for battle purpose. Because for battles, you need your sounds to be as impactful as possible, to make them to be as loud as you can on stage. If I take the last GBB champion, Jules, that is the loudest.
Yeah.
He was the loudest. So that's just show. It just show that being loud on stage helps a lot. Not that it's the most important criteria, but that it's definitely something that you have to take in consideration. And if you want to succeed to that level of power, then you need to consider beatbox as a sport, definitely. And yeah, it's just also half art. Obviously, we're making music, and even more nowadays. I think beatbox is really evolving even more in the musical direction, and that it's not taken anymore as how to explain, as a hobby, or just something that you would do for fun, or that like a party trick. It's considered more seriously by the people, and by many artists as well. So definitely art form and a sport at the same time.
Very nice. And would you see beatboxing as a, how to say, a game in the Olympic Games, for example?
Um,
It's hard for now, right? Maybe I can ask you a more open question, like in 5 years, where do you see beatbox, and do you see like evolutions of beatboxing in some disciplines, or I would say in some usage?
I think more and more beatboxers will start combining beatbox with like we did, for example, with Batako and River,
Yeah.
like using beatbox as verse, like if you are a rapper, for example,
Very interesting.
or just using beatbox more and more inside produced tracks. Uh, yeah, that could be a possible evolution. Also, I think right now there are a lot of ways to express through beatboxing. If you take the example of Tarastanin, Improver, Helium, what they do is very produced and sounds very inhuman sometimes. But it's also a way to utilize our tool, which is our voice, mouth, etc. It's a way to utilize it to create music in the end. So it just many options. I think a lot of options like this will keep coming. Whether it's in Tarastanian style or like we did with Batako or I don't know, like what Hiss is doing with Beatpella, or like just many ways to express through beatboxing. And that's what's gonna happen. Maybe even do collabs with famous artists involving more beatbox in produced tracks.
Very nice. Thank you for your answer. This is already almost the end. I will have like maybe two last questions. So the one before last questions is where can we find you on stage in the upcoming months, and where can we take lessons from you?
Okay. I'm going to China next month, in January. For judging a battle, performing, teaching there as well, and doing another judge and performing again. So I'm doing little China tour. And in February I will be performing with End of the Game. Don't remember where, but end of the Game is my crew, and we will be performing in France this time. And after that, I will be at, I don't know if I can say it actually.
All right, no problem. We can check all the informations on your website.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And you can take lessons from me on my website, of course.
So nice. What can we wish to you to end this lovely interview?
What can we wish to me? Just have many inspiration for beatbox. Keep having inspiration and keep improving.
So I wish you to keep having inspirations and to keep your motivation high.
Thank you.
If you had to quote like 1 to 3 beatboxers that influenced you a lot and you would like to see in this format of show to continue to retrace the history of beatboxing in France, who will it be? Who will they be?
Only French people.
For you, it's French history. Yeah, French beatbox history.
I don't know if he's done it already, but Alex Nio definitely is one. Kim, definitely. Who else?
You were thinking of someone international, maybe?
Not necessarily, but if I only have to give French names, Wawad also big inspiration. Definitely was. I remember in 2014, 15, 16, he was so crazy. Like there was a big fun. I'm still.
Yeah, it's funny. Is there a link maybe between like the style of Wawad that is, I will say, the opposite of yours, like with a lot of vocals, and the fact that you admire it?
Yeah. I mean, also I admire. Like I wasn't trying to be like him. I was just trying to catch some of his technique, and what I was fascinated about was his clicks mainly. That's why I developed a lot my clicks as well. Because I remember when Wawad was doing it, it was loud, fast, clear, and I was always fascinated by how fast he can go, how strong it sounds, and So that's when I developed a lot my clicks during the Wawad period.
Very nice. Big up to Wawad.
Yes.
Thank you. All right. So, Colaps, do you have any last word for our listeners?
Well, thank you everyone for coming and listening to us. It was a pleasure to have this little interview. Always fun to do this. And yeah, I'll see you online with new tracks or with the new. If you want to book lessons, I'll see you during a lesson. If you come for a show, I'll see you during a show. And yeah.
Very nice. Thank you for this outro. I will add like in exclusivity that we will hold an exclusive masterclass with Colaps on the 14th of February in Paris for like a
Yes. Yes.
So it's already the end of the second episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We invite the audience to share their opinion about this show in the comment sections. You can also suggest guests you would like to see on the next show. And as a reminder, we don't claim to hold the absolute truth about beatbox. We simply want to share and share different point of views and experiences from famous beatboxers that are important to us. This was the second episode of Story of a Beatboxer, produced by myself, Duj, co-founder of Lyrebird Beatbox School, with our special guest Colaps, and I will see you soon for the next episode.
Yes.
Very nice. So this is the end of the podcast. So now to thanks the people in the chat. Are there some people still here? I see some questions. We can have 10 minutes just to answer some questions. From Luchel. Hello Luchel. Quels nouveaux usages pour le beatbox, par exemple en termes de production de contenu, associé à quelle forme artistique, peinture, OST de cinéma? So I can translate maybe. So he wanted us to develop the new usages of beatbox, for example, in terms of content production, associated to other artistic forms, paints, cinema. Do you have something to say about it, Colaps?
Yeah, it's always good to find new ways to use beatbox. I think whether it's combining it with other art forms or using it in a new purpose, like cinema, for example, doing would be interesting to do like bruitage. I don't know how to say, but imitate the sounds of what you're seeing on the screen, like the sound of someone walking, the sound of the wind, etc., to create kind of atmosphere. So I would really be interested to see what's a high production level like when you use beatbox, because I think we can really create similar stuff to what the cinema industry is doing at the moment, but only with our voice and mouth. So yeah, definitely always interested to experience. I would love to maybe combine beatbox with something visual, like beatbox and something visual is happening at the same time. Like a bit like Rip Swan and Trung Bao are doing with voice gems. I love this kind of stuff, like creating sculptures out of your voice, for example. That's an amazing idea. So I hope a lot of art, possibilities like this will be born in the future again. I think it would be, yeah, just great opportunity even for us just to expand a little bit more than just doing concerts, workshops, battles. It gives a lot of other possibilities, and yeah, I'm always interested in this type of innovation. I think it will bring a lot to the art form.
All right, you're willing to try like some new concept like this. Very nice. I think like in voiceover they were like in Parasites, the manga, Rinka who did the voiceover from the Alien. So that was very nice.
And there was Samurai Champloo, Afra.
Sure.
Afra is the beatboxer. I think he did beatbox for another series, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I can't remember the name.
Yeah, definitely Samurai Champloo reference.
Yes, for example, Michael Winslow with Police Academy.
Yeah, for sure. And the Gremlins, I didn't know that he was the Gremlins voiceover.
Okay.
So nice. And personally, do you have like a more specific, I would say, collaborations you have in mind for yourself, or not yet? You just want to explore many things.
I would love to collaborate with musicians, so not only beatboxers but also musicians. So I have a band. Imagine like a jazz band when instead of a drum you have a beatboxer, for example. I would love to see this kind of formation, and I would love to be a part of it. Of course, I'm also interested in a cappella, for example, the beatboxer for a cappella band. So yeah, definitely want to try some other stuff because I always stayed really in the beatbox sphere in what I do, and I've rarely tried to go outside a little bit more of it. So when it's collaborating with musicians or with singers, I never really tried this. Of course, I had the opportunity to jam, but it never went further than this. So yeah, even collaborating with dancers, I've had the opportunity to do some battles and some shows with dancers as well, and that was really nice experience. So if I had the opportunity to do it again, I would definitely, yes.
So you said you never work with a band like regularly, a music band, sorry.
No, never really worked with a music band. So I think it could be fun because we're doing so much as a solo beatboxer usually that I would just enjoy taking the drums and let them do all the melodical work.
Nice.
And just focus on really the precision of my sounds and the groove, which are some of the aspects I enjoy the most about beatboxing.
Very nice. So this makes me think about the battle format. Like it's for now, like battles are really specialized or really popular thanks to solo battles. But do you wish to see more battles involving other disciplines, or do you see another formats that you would like to see in battles?
I mean, yeah, it's cool to see when battles are mixed with the other disciplines. I don't think it has yet reached its full potential because what people want to see the most is solo battles, and I understand it's the queen category. So, but yeah, it's always nice to see when you mix art forms, when it's rap with a beatboxer, dancer with a beatboxer, musician with a beatboxer. I love to see all of these things like Grow Up is doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I love this, but also I would like to see new formats within the even the solo battles. I would like to see new format because I'm getting not tired, but it's always the same thing. 1 minute 30, 1 minute 30, 1 minute 30, 1 minute 30. So it's always the same thing, always the same format. So I would love to see more creativity in that aspect. And yeah, I was thinking of the UFC format. So you would only face one opponent. So for example, you say you have your battle in 4 months.
Yeah.
And you're gonna battle Improver, for example. Me versus Improver. So Improver know I'm his opponent, and I know it's Improver. And the rules 5 rounds of 2 minutes, for example. And it's back and forth. Me, him, and I'm just gonna face him during the evening. And that would be maybe the main event. And before that, there are some smaller events. I don't know who can it be. Some people that have a bit less experience, less battles, etc. For example, and they would be like the battles that open the event, then the next battle, and maybe you have like 6 or 7 battles like this in the evening. I don't know if it would be too much, but and then it ends with the main event, which is me versus Improver, and 5 rounds, 2 minutes each. And what's interesting about this format is that you can really prepare specifically for the person you're facing. It's not you're not doing it randomly. Because when you create routines nowadays, is okay, I could facing him. I don't know. So I have to create something that's gonna fit for the most of people. So I think the way of creating would change radically if we would be facing only one person at a time. Yeah.
All right. You mean like it will be more specified to this person, more adapted to this person?
Yeah, you can really prepare for him, for his style, make more creative counters as well.
Yeah.
Because since you know it's him, then you can really dig, try to find, make reference to his routines or some stuff he said online, or you can create something very interesting, I think.
Very nice. Interesting idea. I would love to see that.
Yes. And it's a solo battle still, so I think people would love this.
Yeah. And why do you think like solo battles are the main category like this?
Because it's one man, one mic versus one man, one mic. I think it's just the simplicity of it and the authenticity. Yeah, as soon as you have 2 versus 2 already, it gets more complex. Just because 2 people beatboxing at the same time, and obviously when it's 1-1, it's just the most simple you can do. And also because just a lot of beatboxers that are solo have a lot of hype as well.
All right.
Like Dilo, Codfish, all these people helped a lot to rise, I think, the popularity of solo battles. And also because solo battles is probably the format that is the oldest in the history of beatbox. So for all of these reasons, I think it's logical that it's number 1 nowadays.
All right. Very sincere and made us think about the gladiator fight. So
Good.
To me.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, Luciel adds that as in combat sport with a belt for the champion could be very, very cool. Yeah, I agree. That could be cool.
Yep.
Another question from one of our students, Opal. In your opinion, what's the best amount of training for beginner? Like how many time a day? How many hours, I would say, a day?
How many hours a day as a beginner? Well, I just remember that when I started, I would beatbox whenever I could, non-stop. Because for me, the hardest was the beginning, and then the more I beatbox, it became easier and easier because you need to build the muscles, you need to build the habit as well to breathing at the right moment, get used to the fact that not all the sounds are outward, but some sounds are inward. So you need to understand, you need to make your body used to it. So I was like, when I started beatbox, I always thought beatbox was outside. So I would do only like, and then I don't have anything to breathe.
Yeah.
So then I learned, okay, I can use some sounds to breathe. That's how they do it. And then I had to learn when I did a case snare, always a lot of some spit would go in the wrong hole, so I would cough a lot. So I need to understand, okay, I need to make it more precise, etc. So for me, the most important is, as a beginner, beatbox as much as possible. And when you get down the basics and don't make too much mistakes in the way you freestyle or just execute your sounds, this is where you can maybe slow down a little bit the pace and focus more on complex sounds, I would say. But in the beginning, always, I don't know how many hours, to be honest. I just beatbox as much as possible in the day, till the point it was almost painful. So I drink a lot of water, beatbox, but I was just really passionate about it. So for me, it was not like, I didn't see it as training. I just saw it as having fun. It's like children would play with this favorite toy, for example. For me, my way of playing was with beatbox at that age. So I just saw it like this.
Very nice. Thank you for the advice. And at this time, did you used to do like specific training or only freestyle?
As soon as I had a new combo, some new ideas, I would try to incorporate inside freestyle, but that's it. I wouldn't think of creating routine. Like, I remember one of the first combo or patterns I was proud of is just the triple kick. So I would just put it everywhere I could, doing this kind of stuff, for example. So as soon as I would have something new, I would try to incorporate in, and without really thinking about what I would do. It's hip hop, drum and bass. I don't know. That doesn't matter.
All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. I hope that answers your question, Opal. All right. Thank you very much for those answers. Maybe we can accept the last questions. We can wait like maybe 1 minute for last question. And yeah, just to, oh yeah, we have another question from Jabe. You said the first time you considered a professional beatbox career was in 2017 when you won the French championships. When did you really stop your job? And when did when did you say to yourself that this is it, you've really made a living out of beatboxing?
When did you really stop your job? I really stopped my job in 2020, June 2020. It was in the middle of COVID. And when did you say? Okay. Yeah. So this transition was very scary because I was having really stable income and good income as well, but at the same time, I was not feeling happy with what I was doing. I knew that this would be the safest option, but at the same time, I think I preferred more to have just a happy life rather than security with them, basically, because I wouldn't be happy anyways. So I don't see the point. But yeah, so I decided to make the switch at that time also because I saw that there was a possibility. As my YouTube channel was growing, I was making money as well with that, and I saw that there was a lot of hype around it. So this was my first step. I knew that in the future, well, yeah, I can maybe judge battles. I started judging battle in 2019, 18, around these years, and so I realized, okay, so I can make a bit of money also while judging battles. So that can be a source of income on top of my old work, software developer. And then I started YouTube. So, oh, okay, that's another possible source of income. And so I started to realize that I had multiple ways of making money with Beatbox at that time. And then I started consider, okay, maybe I can create a pretty good income and with my passion, actually. So for me, it made sense to make the switch at this time. So yeah, it was very scary switch. And the first months were really hard for me because I didn't have a boss anymore, and I was just on my own and discovering what it's like to be self-employed and entrepreneurship. So I discovered this at this time, and the first time when I realized this could be I made a living out of beatboxing was probably after I won GBB. I felt more relaxed. GB 21, I felt more relaxed. That I was gonna be fine with the beatbox since I became GB champion. I knew a lot of opportunity would come to me, and yeah, I always had this in my mind: win the GBB because it's the GBB as well. But I always thought, yeah, of course, if I win GBB, then a lot of opportunity or job opportunity would come to me as well. So I was feeling pretty safe after that moment. Yeah.
Thank you for your answer. And do you have like a tips or any tips to say to people who wants to go pro and to do like you, full-time beatboxer?
Tips. Um,
Oh,
for me, it was just I never really thought about going pro. I don't know if it's a good idea to think about it since the beginning. I just think try to enter some battles, see where it leads you. Just don't think too far ahead, because things will come naturally along the way, and then you will realize, okay, I can become pro, I think. But first, do it for yourself. Have fun with it, and if you see there is opportunity coming to you, then yeah, try and see where it leads you. Because I think It's je sais pas comment expliquer.
Tell me in French, I can maybe help you.
Right, I'm gonna try. It's just that it's a beautiful thing, I think, to live from your passion and become pro doing what you love. So if you feel like you're the type of guy or person that is um, that really loves beatboxing, that really is passionate about it, and that you feel like it's gonna be a passion you'll have for the rest of your life, then also, yeah, that's where you can think, okay, I'm gonna really try to make a living out of this. I want to be pro. I want to do a lot of things with it. So that's why I don't think you need to. You need a few years, I think, to realize this. You need a few years because the first year of beatbox you have could be like you're super motivated, you really want to go pro, etc. And then the second year of beatboxing, you feel like there is lack of motivation and you're losing interest. So it's important to see how long your motivation can last, and if you see it last long enough, that it's not fading at all, this is where you can consider. But you have to be really sure also of that direction, because it's not for everyone, I think.
Very nice answers. Thank you very much. So go progressively. Don't overthink, I would say, just
Yes.
to sum up well. Very nice. And do you see like a main issue for people who go who are self-entrepreneur, who like are their own boss, I would say?
Well, je crois que j'ai un moustique. Bref. The issue is that you always have to how to explain?
Manage yourself.
Manage yourself. So time management is really important, but also you'd always have to have kind of a project going. So for me, sometimes it's really hard to take a break. I feel like I'm working all the time. I don't feel like I'm ever taking holiday. Even though now I understood that, and that's why I start to have at least once a week, one day off, where I really don't do anything, because it's it can be really consuming you a lot to be your own boss. You can it can be really stressful. It can be a lot of things. So yeah, time management, take some rest for yourself, and just keep yourself busy as well. That's the hard part as well, because sometimes you will have good months with a lot of busy stuff going, and sometimes it will be okay, not so much is happening. Okay, I hope something comes soon. So it's always an uncertainty. Uncertainty. Je sais pas comment on dit.
Yeah, it's good.
So it's a little bit like this sometimes. So that's why you need to multiply the sources of income, whether it's YouTube, teaching, concerts, music platforms, streaming, collaborating with musicians, collaborating with you have a beatbox band, you have a duo, I try to play on many different fields to create always stability.
Very nice. Thank you very much for your wise advices. All right, so that's the end, I would say, of this format of this live show. I hope everybody likes it. I hope you liked it.
It was fun.
Thank you very much. I had fun also. It was very interesting to listen to your point of view, I would say.
Thank you for the questions.
Right, my pleasure. Thank you to Gabe, Kemar, all the people in the chat for your question, for your attention. That was Duge for the second episode of Story of a Beatboxer with my dear friend and well-known beatboxer Colaps. We see you on the 14th of February for a live workshop with Colaps in Paris for the Lack Up battle organized by Kim. And if you wish to learn more about Colaps and to take lessons with Colaps, I invite you to check his website. All the links are in the descriptions. Thank you very much again and see you soon for our next episode.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.